Welcome back to The Explainer. Look, we're looking at a moment in history right now that honestly feels like it was pulled straight out of a sci-fi thriller. But the thing is, it's happening right now. Anthropic, which if you follow the space you know is one of the world's absolute heavyweight AI labs, they've just issued this massive global alert. And guys, this isn't your standard tech industry press release. They've put out a highly detailed warning stating that AI is no longer just a tool we use. We're officially entering the early stages where the machine is literally building the machine. Today, we're going to unpack the hard data behind this crazy acceleration, what it actually means for humanity, and maybe most importantly, the billion-dollar twist hiding right behind this warning. Let's dive in.
To really understand the gravity of the situation here, we need to look at what's actually happening on the inside. This quote you're seeing isn't from some panicked outsider or a sci-fi writer. This is a real, isolated confession from an engineer working at the absolute top level at Anthropic. Quote, "Nothing I do matters, everything is automated and better and faster than I will ever be." I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The exact people actively building the world's most advanced AI systems are already starting to feel obsolete. They're realizing that the very systems they've created are starting to outpace them at their own jobs.
So, what is actually causing this? Well, Anthropic's report hinges on one absolutely critical concept, recursive self-improvement, or RSI. Essentially, this is the tipping point. It's the moment an AI system becomes capable of autonomously designing, building, testing, and improving the next generation of AI systems completely without us, without human involvement. Think about it like a giant puzzle, right? If an AI can make a smarter AI, and that smarter AI turns around and makes an even smarter one, the acceleration compounds exponentially. We all used to talk about this like it was decades away, but Anthropic's internal data is showing that the foundation for RSI is already here.
And the speed of this evolution is just breathtaking. Let's trace it back. In 2021, human engineers were basically writing all the code autonomously. Then, jump to 2023, and AI chatbots started generating those helpful little code snippets. By 2025, we had AI agents writing entire files. And now, as we sit here in 2026, AI agents are working autonomously for 16+ hours at a time. The human engineer's role has violently shrunk, going from the primary creator to, well, essentially just handing out instructions and watching the AI go to work.
Now, if you want to know the sheer scale of this takeover, look no further than this number, 80%. As of May 2026, more than 80% of the code that's being merged into Anthropic's own codebase was authored by their AI model, Claude. I mean, think about what that actually means. The vast majority of the code running inside one of the premier AI companies on Earth is written by an AI. To put that into perspective, before early 2025, that number was sitting in the low single digits.
And this shift is fundamentally altering human productivity. By 2026, engineers at Anthropic are merging 8 times as much code per day as they were just 2 short years ago. But here's the catch. They aren't working 8 times harder. Their entire job description has flipped. They aren't executing anymore. They're managing fleet of AI agents. Humans have essentially become middle managers to a workforce of digital developers that, never sleep and never need a coffee break.
But it's not just about the volume of work, it's the quality. By May 2026, Claude took a massive leap. On incredibly complex, open-ended tasks, the kind where there's no clear specification or easy answer, Claude's success rate skyrocketed from 26% to 76% in just 6 months. Listen to this. In one instance, an engineer pointed Claude at a live incident that was causing tens of thousands of crashes. Claude autonomously went in and resolved 800 bugs in a few hours. That exact same workload, a human expert would have been at it for 4 full years. It's even catching critical bugs in retrospective code reviews that the absolute best human engineers totally missed.
Okay, so writing and fixing code is one thing, but what happens when the AI starts doing the fundamental research required to make itself faster? Anthropic actually ran a test on this. They pitted a skilled human researcher against their new Claude Mythos preview model, and they asked both of them to optimize some AI training code for speed.
The results from these internal benchmarks force us to confront a completely new reality. Check this out. The skilled human researcher spent 4 to 8 hours optimizing the code and managed a very respectable 4x speedup. Awesome, right? Well, Claude Mythos was given the exact same task autonomously. It achieved a 52x speedup. That means the AI is operating at 13 times the efficiency of a highly trained human professional on a task that is specifically designed to make AI systems run faster. Guys, the AI is officially better at accelerating AI than we are.
And this staggering research gap extends right into safety and alignment. In one safety experiment, they wanted to see if a weaker model could supervise a stronger one. 2 elite human researchers spent 7 days grinding on this and solved about 23% of the problem. So Anthropic unleashed 9 parallel Claude agents on it. They worked for 800 hours, which, by the way, cost just $18,000 in compute time, and they solved 97% of the problem. The agents designed their own experiments, tested their own hypotheses, and basically just left the human researchers in the dust.
Let's move on to Section 1, the human reality 4 risks of RSI.
So what are the real-world implications of these massive capability jumps? The report methodically walks through 4 cascading threats. First up, loss of human oversight. I mean, if AI improves itself faster than we can even audit the code, we are going to be deploying systems we literally do not understand. Second is goal misalignment. A tiny microscopic error in the AI's core objective, compounded over thousands of autonomous self-improvement cycles, could lead to disastrous actions in the real world. Third, rapid economic disruption. We're no longer talking about blue-collar automation. We're looking at the automation of highly skilled knowledge work, engineering, law, advanced research, and not over decades, but within a few short years. And fourth, extreme concentration of global power. Whoever controls the first truly recursive AI is going to hold an insurmountable geopolitical advantage.
So you might be screaming at your screen right now, why not just unplug it? Why doesn't Anthropic just slow down? Well, the answer is a massive competitive trap. As the report notes, a unilateral pause by just one company doesn't solve anything. It just shifts who the frontrunner is. If Anthropic hits the brakes today, OpenAI, Google, or state-backed labs in rival nations are simply going to sprint ahead. It's a classic arms race. No single lab can afford to slow down unless they're absolutely certain everyone else is slowing down too.
Which brings us to Section 2, Anthropic's proposal, the nuclear treaty solution.
To manage these intense risks, Anthropic is proposing something drastic. They're calling for a coordinated global pause infrastructure. Basically, they want a framework in place so that all major AI labs around the world can slow or pause frontier development simultaneously. Now, obviously, this requires intense cooperation between rival nations and a highly verifiable international monitoring regime to actually enforce it. Anthropic explicitly points out that this is highly analogous to the Nuclear Forces Treaty. They are literally treating advanced computer code with the exact same diplomatic gravity as nuclear warheads.
All right, let's pivot to Section 3, the billion-dollar complication.
Because to truly grasp the stakes here, we have to look behind the curtain at how this whole warning actually unfolded. It's quite a twist. On June 1, 2026, Anthropic filed confidentially for a massive U.S. initial public offering. Just 3 days later, on June 4th, they published this terrifying global warning about AI building itself. And oh, by the way, they're targeting a public listing date just a few months away, in October.
So we are left with this incredible juxtaposition. On one hand, you have an urgent, incredibly detailed warning to the world about existential risks and the desperate need for international treaties to slow down AI development. But on the exact same week, you have a massive corporate push to secure a near trillion-dollar valuation on the public stock market, a valuation that is built entirely on moving faster than their competitors. And the scale of the money involved here is historic. Anthropic recently closed a $65 billion funding round. Their private market valuation currently sits at a staggering $965 billion. That actually makes Anthropic more valuable in the private markets right now than their primary rival, OpenAI. So they are asking the world to pause right at the exact moment they are seeking unprecedented financial backing to accelerate. Which leads us to a quote that I think perfectly distills the absolute paradox we're all living in right now. This entire scenario is a confession that technology is moving faster than the world's ability to govern it, built by companies simultaneously trying to warn us about it and profit from it. Hit the nail on the head, right? So look at the data we've covered today. The rapid acceleration of AI building itself, the call for global nuclear-style treaties, and the backdrop of a massive, historic IPO. We have to ask ourselves, is this when AI builds itself paper a genuine, desperate warning for the future of humanity? Or is it the ultimate trillion-dollar corporate positioning? It's a question that literally dictates our future. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep questioning what you see on the horizon. Catch you next time.